Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I would like to do is I want to talk about why I colorize images when I do my investigations, just like in the JFK assassination. The reason why I colorize images so I can pull more details out of that image and to separate different objects and the surroundings and everything else. So what I want to do here is I'm going to show you the reason why I colorize images. And let me pull up this one here. I'm going to shrink this right to here. I'm going to pull up the colorized version as well. As you see here, when we have a side-by-side comparisons of a black and white image and colorized images, we can actually separate the objects and the people and the surroundings, like this location here. Okay, we can see the lady right here, and we can see the gentleman right here, but we can see the brushes here, and we have the pillars and stuff behind them. But now when we separate it, not only we can separate, where we can see their feet and their legs and stuff, which in the black and white you can't do that because it looks more like the brush than it does their legs or feet. But we can over in this image here because it's colorized. Plus, when you colorize something, it gives you that effect of you actually are there at that time when this is happening. It gives you that feeling that when you're doing an investigation, when you look at a black and white, it was done years ago, and it's like, you can't get that feeling of what it felt like when they was there at that time, what was going on, and the reactions of people. But when you colorize that image and you bring it, looks like it's more up to date, you can actually get that feeling like you actually are there, just like this right here. Let's pull up this one right here. This is JFK's limo. As you see here in this image here, when we have a black and white, it's hard to separate, just like over here. If you look at this guy's camera, when it's in a black and white, you can see there's black and you can see there's white, but that's it. But now when we colorize it, we know the camera's black and then there's chrome around it, just like in JFK's limo here. When it's black and white, we're going to look at all this as white, just like here's going to be white and here's going to be white where the seat is, but actually it's two different colors. So when we colorize it, not only are we getting that feeling that it's realistic now because it feels like we're right there, but like we can almost touch it, but we know we actually know that there's actually two different colors in this location right here alone. Same thing all over here, just like up here, we're going to see white and black in a black and white image. But now when it's colorized, we see there's chrome, blue steering wheel, which in a black and white, we would think it's a black steering wheel or black dash. The leather around looks more black, so we're going to actually think it's black, but it's not. It's blue. So these are the reason why I colorize images. So not only when I'm colorizing it, I can find more details in an image when I bring it out. Just like right here. If we look at this right here, this is one of the images that they took of the sniper's nest. Okay, now when we zoom in, now when you look at it this way, you think, like I said, we're going to black-white version. It's hard to tell where the bullet casings are and other objects. Just like, okay, these two pieces of paper that's on the floor. Okay, now when we colorize this image, not only now we can see the bullet casings more better, more clear. One here, and we go up, we can see a bullet right here, bullet casing. But now there's a piece of white paper there, a piece right here. We can actually see the scratches in the floors, as you see here. We can make more details on what this image is actually telling us and showing us. Just like the boxes here itself, we know the brown, flooring's brown. We can see the lettering clear more better. We can see on the boxes, we can see the concrete, the bricks is right here and where the windowsill is. Okay, now when I'm looking at an image like this, it feels like, I'm standing right above that location. And in black and white, you're looking at a picture, you're analyzing a picture, but now it gives me more of a feeling like I'm really there, especially when I zoom in. I can see this, okay, I see the bullet casing right down here and right here and up here. Now it gives me more of a effect that I'm actually there looking at this So when I do my investigations, I get that feeling of what I'm investigating instead of just looking at a black and white image. Now, that's basically what I do with all the research I've done. Just like here, this is the exit. When we look at this exit, okay, this is right around this location where these boxes are. That's where they found Oswald's rifle. And they found the clip for rifle over in this location over here. When we look at it this way, we think this wall is going straight across, but actually this wall cuts off right here. And it's hard to separate a lot of stuff like what's these papers sticking up here, you know, and books and stuff. It's hard to separate a lot in this image here. Just like the pipe coming across here for the water in case there's a fire. You got the rail coming down here. Here's the top of the step. Here's the separation between the steps coming from there. And when you make that turn, we have the exit sign right here. We can see that, but it's still, when you look at it that way, when you look at the black and white, which I want to shrink this again, pull this up. I'm going to come over here with the colorized version. Bring this in more. And we'll pull them both up at the same time. Okay, now when we look at this image here, just like these books and stuff over here, we can see the separation between everything, just like the boxes and stuff. We can see the boxes more clearer. And it gives us that realistic that we're actually there looking at this, and when we're doing an investigation, we're really right there. So we can get that feeling of it being more like a live effect instead of looking at it just an image. That's why a lot of people today like HD TV, because you get that high def, and that's what they want, because high def usually makes you feel like you're actually experiencing that, but you're really not. But that's the reason why I colorize these images, so I can get that feeling of what they was actually going through when they was doing this investigation, because we're looking at a black and white image, but they was actually looking in living color. So this gives us more of insight on information on what they're doing when they was doing their investigations, and where they found these objects and everything else. Now, that's what I said when I colorize images, because a lot of people say, well, you colorize them, that just messes up because that's adding stuff to it. No, not really. Because when I colorize an image, I colorize it. I don't send it out to be colorized. I colorize it myself, because that way I know that nothing's being added into that image, and I'm going to use proper coloring for the surroundings and that object that I'm colorizing in. And at the same time, I'm doing two things at one time. Not only I'm colorizing it to show more detail, but I'm also analyzing them at the same time, because then I know what objects are in locations. So actually, I'm doing two things at one time when I'm colorizing these. I'm not only colorizing, but I'm analyzing it too at the same time. As other researchers, now when they want an image colorized, they send it out to a place and let them colorize it. Then they get it back, and then they got a colorized image. But you know, there's no ideal if they actually add something into that image or not. Same as when they analyze a film. They send it out to somebody to analyze for them, to let them know whether the film is altered or image is altered in any way. Then they, when they get it sent back to them, they have the report, and that's what they base their research on, report. When I do investigations, when I do research, I base everything on what I find, not what someone else finds. It's like when I analyze film, that's why I analyze films, I colorize the films, I restore the images or films. I'm the one that does all of it. I don't send nothing out to somebody else, because I don't want to take nobody else's word for it, because one, I don't know if they're going to add anything to the image. Two, I don't know if they're going to add extra color into the image, where it's going to mess up the whole image and actually looks like there's something there when there's not. And three, I could tell if the image has been altered or not in any way as I'm colorizing and as I'm analyzing films and images. As for other JFK researchers, they actually send it out to somebody, and they're going to base their research on what they are told. That's one thing. That's why it separates my research from everybody else's, because they're basing their research on what they are told, not what, you know, they find, but it's what someone else finds. As for me, I have to analyze the films myself. I analyze the images myself. I colorize the images myself. I don't send nothing out to nobody because I can't believe and if they're going to add anything to it or take anything even away from it. So in this video here, what I want to do is talk about reason why I colorize the images so I can get more details, just like right here. I'll pull this one up real quick. It gives us more of an effect of actually being there and looking at the complete surroundings, like where Oswald was sitting at, where his palm print was found right here. You know, they found the bag right here, laying on the side here. And I want to show you something else too, which I'm going to pull this up. This is a black and white image, which I'm going to show you here. I'm going to pull this one up here. This is the colorized version I've done. And as you see here, it looks more realistic. Okay, when we analyze the films or images, this looks more realistic because we can actually see like Marilyn Monroe right here, Robert Kennedy, JFK right here. And we can separate the colors of the books, as you see up here. We can see the the binds of the covers of the books, the bookshelf. So we're separating everything when we colorize images. That's why when I do my investigations, whether it's a film, if it needs to be restored, I restore, but I don't add nothing to it. Black and white images, I can restore them and keep everything back to original, and also colorize them. And that's the reason why I like colorizing images instead of looking at a black and white image, because I can get more detail, more insight on what's going on. It gives you that feeling of actually when you're doing investigation, you're right there beside them doing that same investigation. You're right there. You can see it in living color instead of just looking at black and white image. And then when I look over image, I can actually see what is what instead of what object is this, what object is this, you know. So in this video here, I just want to make a short video on this to explain why I colorize images and the purpose of me colorizing the images as well, just like this image here. Let me pull this one more image up right here. As you see here, now, not only do we see the paper and the boxes and everything else, but we can also see a clear image of Oswald's rifle that they found, which is the Carcano rifle right here. But I'm gonna make another video on that later on and show you what it, actually why the Carcano rifle is there, because it was a decoy rifle. But I'm gonna explain that in another video. But this is the reason why I colorize images. Thank you. Have a nice day.